Invitational presented by Evo Shield. Sunday morning here on the Gulf Coast. Another beautiful day. Great beaches in St. Pete, Clearwater. And our first game of the day on Field 9 here on SEC Network. Nebraska Cornhuskers of the Big Ten taking on the SEC's Arkansas Razorbacks. Final day. Oklahoma State's already finished their schedule here in Clearwater. They went unbeaten. UCLA trying to do the same. Bama's played well. Duke got a win over this Arkansas Razorback team a few days ago, and A&M has a couple of wins against ranked teams. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday from the Sunshine State, along with 2009 National Player of the Year Daniel Laurie. I'm Mark Neely. Final game for these two schools here in Clearwater, and I think whichever team wins is going to have a lot better narrative about what happened here in Clearwater.
Well, and you have to think it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And you want to finish strong. Both these teams have maybe lost some games that they thought they were going to be able to get, and you want to end on a high note moving into the week of practice. So today means something to both these teams for sure.
Let's take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. And for Nebraska, Billy Andrews been hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
She really has, and taking a peek at yesterday versus Texas A&M, 2 for 3, 2 home runs, 2 ribbies, and that's what it's going to take against a tough Arkansas pitcher in Herron. And on the flip side, Rijo with Arkansas batting .409 in this tournament, 1 home run, 5 ribbies.
True freshman from the Tampa area. Homecoming here for Robin Herron.
Good opportunity here for the southpaw getting the start on the last day. And she has pitched a good amount of innings. 12 and a third innings pitched. 20 strikeouts. 2-0 on the season.
Billy Andrews right at the top of the order, the shortstop for the Huskers leading off the game. Head coach Rhonda Ravel's Cornhusker lineup has Caitlin Neal in the 3 spot. In their win over Texas A&M yesterday, Neal, a couple of hits, including an RBI double. Nebraska beat A&M 4-3 yesterday. What was their only game of Saturday? Appeal. Down to first base umpire Chris Neighbors. No swing. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Off the end of the bat down the right field side. The right fielder battling that morning sun. Casey Hoffman squeezes that. And that's the way the game begins. What more can we expect from the freshman Robin Herron?
Yeah, Robin Herron's mid-60s. She's coming from that left side, so the advantage of those lefty-lefty matchups tend to favor the pitcher sometimes. Likes to attack. Saw her climb the ladder there on Billy Andrews.
It's Courtney Wallace, who's the DP for this game for the Huskers. Veteran player, a player that does a bit of everything for this squad. Pitches, first plays defense, the DP today. Already has her degree in communication studies, got that last May, now working on a master's degree. Pretty good hack at a 2-0 pitch from Herron.
And Courtney Wallace, a two-way player. Love those hitting pitchers that get the opportunity to be on both sides of the ball. Was a big part of that big Texas A&M win yesterday. At 3.2 innings pitched, did not give up a run. But you just don't see as many hitting pitchers nowadays as it was such a common thing back in the day. But it's hard to be great at both. You don't have as much time to dedicate.
Also on her resume, she won a NFCA Gold Glove Award last year in 2022. Was part of the Big Ten All-Defensive team. So when she does play defense, one of the best. Stays at 3-2. She's also one of the 3 team captains for Nebraska, along with Maya Felder and Abby Squire. It was great when the Rawlings NFCA started giving out gold gloves not too long ago. It was an idea that was way overdue in college.
You're telling me.
That gentleman right there just caught that. He's actually in the bleachers for field 8, the adjacent field. Unfortunately, he was turned around paying attention and caught that foul ball, which had a little bit of heat on it. Our cameras are everywhere, so watch this. Yeah. Spot on. And how about our crew? They don't miss anything.
No.
I mean, it's Sunday morning. We've been here 4 or 5 days. Got the A game going here early on a Sunday. Is he going to have, right over.
Someone else did.
That one sailed just a little bit over their head.
Courtney Wallace working. 9th pitch. This at bat.
And on the 9th pitch, snagged at first by Kylie Halverson. Good play. That ball got to her in a hurry and a step to her right and a reach. And that's 2 outs in the inning.
It's a really good at-bat by Courtney Wallace, battling off 9 pitches. A little inside-out swing, perfect scoop there by Halverson to get the 2nd out of the inning. But it's ABs like that, Mark, that you love to see it. In the dugout, you see Courtney Wallace talking to the on-deck hitter, just passing the information on. And it's about trying to make pitchers work at this point. Already 14 pitches for Heron.
Here is Caitlin Neal, Arizona native. Heron gets ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Neal is one of 2 left-handed bats in the batting order. Pineda in the 9-hole being the other. For Nebraska, that's lifted left center field. Might find a hole and does so. Caitlin Neal with a 2-out base hit.
This just finds a gap. This is a great piece of hitting by Neal. She goes and gets this curveball, and it really just kind of pops in the Bermuda Triangle right in the middle of Kramer, Johnson, and Rijo.
Foul back. By the way, what happened to the actual Bermuda Triangle? Because I remember back like in the 60s, well, not personally, but in the 60s, 70s, 80s, boats and planes were disappearing there. And I don't think that's been a problem recently, has it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked into it recently, but I'm going to go with you on this one.
It's supposedly not too far off the Florida Atlantic coast. Where your mind goes on a Sunday morning after 4 days of wall-to-wall softball.
You're going to miss this with me. You already know it. You know it.
I am. Ava Breadwell. Good off-speed pitch. First strikeout for Robin Heron, who works around that 2-out single by Neal.
I love me a good lefty, Mark Neely, but I love it when a lefty snaps a change piece. Look at this. Pretty on the inner half. Heron, let's go.
No score as the 4th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks come up to bat in the bottom of the 1st inning. Hogs are going to face in the circle for the Cornhuskers. Junior transfer Sarah Harness, who spent 3 seasons at Southern Illinois University before coming to Lincoln.
We had the chance to see her pitch earlier on in this tournament, which actually feels like it was quite a while ago. She is a lot of fun to watch. Has a really good off-speed pitch down in the zone. And she was a part of that win and split that game with Courtney Wallace when they beat Texas A&M 4-3. And so far, that has been their only win of the tournament. Their schedule, Mark, is challenging. I will say this, Oklahoma State right out of the gate, and then they played UCLA, and then Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, and then Arkansas today. Coach Rhonda Revelle is seeing this Nebraska team play a lot of teams that make a pretty big postseason push. It's a good opportunity for Nebraska to see what it's going to take to make that run. That's a goal that this team set. They want to host a regional. They want to go to a super regional. And these are the types of teams you're going to have to run through to get there. So to learn more now and be able to have great practices throughout the week with all the little nuggets that you're learning is important.
Reagan Johnson, true freshman from the San Antonio area, a little town called Garden City, Texas. Now to play left side. Nebraska won the Big Ten tournament title last year. It was their first since joining the Big Ten in 2012. Went to the Stillwater Regional, beat North Texas to start their tournament run, then lost to the host Oklahoma State, and then in the elimination game lost to North Texas in their season last year. But it was their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2016. They had 41 wins. They were 17-5 in the Big Ten. They were just a little bit behind the team that won the regular season, Northwestern. Ground ball out to shortstop, Billy Andrews. A quick release gets Reagan Johnson. Harness had some big numbers pitching at SIU, was all Missouri Valley first team a year ago.
Now batting, number 2.
She needs to attack early. That's exactly what she does to the leadoff. Find that strike pitch and use all the tools that she has. When you're going up against the number 4 team in the nation, you want to go with your best stuff right out of the gate. And at times, I will say, back in the day when you pretty much had a one-arm show, you'd save a pitch or two. It'd be like, all right, first time through the lineup, or game 1, we're going to hold the change. And then game 2 or 3, we're going to bring that in a little bit. Well, now pitchers really have a lot of help. Rely on a staff.
Maya Felder right behind the base. Your playing career collegiately was kind of right on the border of those eras where it went from having one arm to multiple.
Yep. I could have used multiple, didn't mind, but the game has evolved so much on the offensive side that it is a lot harder for pitchers to be able to go and throw 3 conference games in a weekend. You need to have a staff. And more importantly, you're seeing more of a chess game as far as using pitchers for certain matchups, having pitchers potentially come in to close out games depending on a matchup, whether it's a righty or a lefty or somebody's high up in the zone. You bring someone that primarily throws down to close it out.
All in a strike on Rylan Hedgecock, who's the DP for the Razorbacks, and has hit 3 home runs in this TaxAct Clearwater Invitational.
Hedgecock, 545 with 2 outs, 11 for her last 23, batting a cool .478. Good spot by Sarah Harness. Here in the pop of the mitt.
On the ground, right side, past the diving Maya Felder. And into right field, and Hedgecock Now 8 for 14 in her at-bats here in Clearwater. There's a 2-out hit.
Now batting number 14.
Not a bad Clearwater for her, huh?
Oh,
8
man.
for 14, has 3 home runs. Swinging it.
You know, from here, Arkansas goes home. They're going to have the Razorback Invitational this week, starting on Thursday when they play Arizona twice. Arizona, another team that's here in Clearwater. So they are heading home, but Ryland Hitchcock may want to stay behind in Clearwater as well as she's sitting here. Hoffman, Casey shooting it foul. Take you back a couple of days.
Yeah, Casey Hoffman off Mac Leonard, Florida State. Talk about getting all of it.
Hoffman had 8 homers last year as a freshman. And that was her first of the season this year. So she's a Nebraska native, Elkhorn, which is kind of a far northwestern side of Omaha metro area, and taking on her home state, Nebraska Cornhuskers. Elkhorn South High School in Elkhorn, Nebraska for Casey Hoffman. Set a bunch of career and single season records for her high school. An average, homers, RBIs, runs, doubles. We could go on and on. Whacked that one in the air to right field, shading her eyes. Caitlin Neal makes the catch. Looking into that morning sun. Hoffman hit it well, flies to right. A hit and a runner left on in the Razorback first.
Tax Act Clearwater Invitational, presented by Evo Shield, is brought to you by Tax Act. File for less and get more. St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida. Let's shine. Plan your escape at visitstpeteclearwater.com. Evo Shield, the source for custom fitting protective gear. And Gatorade, and our commitment to fuel tomorrow.
Take a ride on the Super Queen. Heading out from the bay towards the Gulf. Sunday morning from the Eddie C. Moore Complex, Clearwater, Florida. Final day, 4th and final day from this year's 2023 edition of the Tax Act Clearwater Invitational. First pitch swinging, Maya Felder belts it deep, but just foul down the left field side. She hit that about 10, maybe 15 feet to the left of the foul pole, looking for her second homer of the year.
You know what I'm going to call that?
A long strike.
Long strike. It's a strike for the pitcher.
I have out of Clovis East High School, Fresno. So many times if somebody belts one deep down the left field line, just foul. A lot of times they get something a little off speed the next pitch. Out in front of you. Once again, it pulls it foul. Look out down there. Coach Ravel, who coaches third, wisely standing a little further back. Coach Ravel, 31st season as the Huskers head coach.
Something Coach Ron Ravel said is that this is a team that is not a team of decades of championship pedigree, but they want to leave their mark on this program. And I think when you win the Big Ten tournament and you get to the postseason, and that's the first time that you've been since 2016, it kind of gives you a taste of this is what I want all the time. Pretty pitch by Heron. Rise on the outside part of the plate. But you don't know till you know. So for some of these young ladies, that was their first experience of like what the postseason is like, how amped up you get.
Ball's hit to center by Brooke Andrews, deep and out of the ballpark. First of the year for Brooke. After hitting 5 a year ago. And it gives the Huskers an early 1-0 lead.
This is awesome. Stepping up. Backdoor curve on the outside part of the plate. Having Felder's back, who just struck out her last AB. Andrews comes up, says, I got you. Takes it out dead center.
So the slightly older Andrews sister on the team, Brooke, gets to wear the home run chain. Abby Squire. What'd you say earlier? You don't know what you don't know. Is that what you said? Something
You don't know what you don't know. So if you have not been in the postseason and felt that and the road to get there, when you finally do, it just opens up this can of worms of like, this is what I want. And that's exactly where Nebraska is at. They felt it last year. They won the Big Ten tournament. Got to go to the postseason. Last time was 2016. And they set some big, hefty goals for themselves this year. Worked with Dr. Mariah Bullock without the coaches, mental performance coach, and she kind of helped them divvy up some goals, and they presented the goals to the coaching staff, and they want to make it to supers. They want to host a regional. And most importantly, they want to repeat Big Ten champs. There's a swagger about doing something like that. It's a big deal. Taking on Michigan with what they had in the circle as far as seniors last year with Megan Beaubien and Alex Storako.
Hit on a one hop to Rijo at short. Seven newcomers, 6 of those are freshmen. Part of that facing 4 top 25 teams in February comes here in Clearwater. And where they lost last year, Cami Barra, 51 starts at 365, 10 homers, 39 RBIs. Also lost Peyton Glatter, Olivia Farrell, who's now a GA for the team, but Barra was the major loss there. And even though they have a number of newcomers, pretty decent core that's back from last year from this tournament team.
And when we talked to Coach Ravel about what was the plan as far as hitting and working on things, and she said, we're building on. We're not working or having to go backwards. We're building on some younger at-bats we had last year that got good experience and then are now getting an opportunity to use the experience from last year throughout the fall and winter to, it's tough to say perfect your swing because you never do. This is one of the hardest games to play and be successful as a hitter, but work on the mindset and what it was like and bring that into this season.
That's a 4-pitch walk to Sydney Gray. That'll extend the Huskers' second. You don't know what you don't know. You mind if that's a pretty good slogan. I may put that on a t-shirt, trademark that. You all right with that?
Yeah, I think my dad's listening. I think I got that from him.
Okay.
You don't know what you don't know.
We need to give Mr. Laurie full credit then.
I know there was something you wanted to say to him. You want to get it?
Yeah, the Laurie family's down in Mexico vacationing, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
hola, senor and senorita.
There
Laurie.
we go.
That's what the extent of my Espanol. They get SEC Network down in Mexico, which is great.
They do.
Coach Ravel going to the lineup card. She's going to run for Gray at first base. Those duties are going to fall upon Alina Felix. Went in the Hall of Fame in 2010. By my count, we'll see they have 5 wins this year, so that's 1,066 career wins at Nebraska for Rhonda Revelle. That's a lot of W's.
You want to know a pretty awesome stat? Well, I wouldn't say a stat, a nugget about Coach Rhonda Revelle. She teaches indoor cycling. She's a instructor. And I think that was so cool hearing her just talk about that. She's really big on being her best today. When she puts her feet on the ground, that's the mentality. She tries to bring that to the young ladies that she gets the opportunity to be around day in and day out. And it does. It trickles down from the leaders. Leader of your ship is the head coach and the staff.
A strikeout ends the inning, but Nebraska on the board thanks to Brooke Andrews' first home run of the season.
Brooke Andrews coming up big for Nebraska here in the second, putting a run up on the board for them. Nebraska up 1-0.
Hey, let's take a look at our Tax Act performance update. We'll take you to Field 3. This game got going about a half hour before ours. Duke got out 3-0, but there's Kiki Thola, Michigan, 2-run home run. So right now it's a 1-run game, 3-2 Michigan. A 3-2 Duke, that is, after the home run by Michigan's Kiki Thola. And that game's right now on ESPN Plus as we go to the dual box. Take a look in there. Down to Field 3, which is actually, unlike Field 8, which is like literally just a matter of feet from us. Field 3 is probably at least a quarter of a mile away. Big complex.
How about Kiki Thola in this tournament for Michigan? Swinging a hot bat.
Anna Gamble leading off here, hits one over towards Field 8. Five, 6, and 7 hitters here for the Razorbacks. Nebraska leading thanks to a home run in the top of this inning from the Huskers center fielder Brooke Andrews. Giving Rhonda Revelle's team an early lead. By the way, the indoor cycling class, you mentioned that Huskers head coach Rhonda Revelle teaches. Is that something outside the university, or is that like something that's actually you can take a class at Nebraska?
She didn't specify exactly where it was.
Be nice if it's with the university. I remember when you got close to graduation, they said, hey, you're couple credits short. You can either take Calculus 303 or indoor cycling. I'm like, hey, sounds like indoor cycling is going to be for me. Please.
I bet she goes to a studio.
Okay, probably so.
Coach's calls or coach's interviews coming up.
Yeah.
Want to ask her.
Is that? Okay.
Yeah.
Glad we have those.
I'm not sure you can hang in one of her classes.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure my heart would be ready to pound out of my chest after about 2 minutes in that class. Gamble hits one down the left field side. It's carrying pretty well, but we'll get to the warning track where it's run down by Abby Squire. Shows you the pop that Gamble has, though, because she really didn't get much of that, and it almost went out.
Well, you think about, she had 18 homers last year, but you think about when you see Arkansas this year and what they lost, and Gibson and Malkin. Lenny Malkin actually coaches first base for them, but Taylor Ellsworth, KB Sides. This was 72% of the team's home runs and 78 and 60% of the ribbies at 233 total. But the great thing about Arkansas is they always find a way to pick up some good transfers, and that's exactly what happened. They got Christina Foreman from Duke. They got Halverson from Wichita State, and both those two young ladies had 34 combined home runs together and 102 ribbies. So they're kind of like the new Bash sisters coming in. They're expected to put up some good numbers, and they're doing just that.
Really good breakdown of what they lost. That's a high pop fly, shallow center field. Brooke Andrews in to make the catch. I mean, Arkansas lost not just good players from a year ago. They lost program-defining players. Like Mary Half, Daniel Gibson, Taylor Ellsworth, Bloom, KB Sides, Malkin. I mean, that's. But again, like we talked about the other night, the talent that she has brought in to fill those holes are of a caliber that shows that Arkansas is one of the premier programs in college softball.
And when you really think about the pitchers in the circle, you can't think about Arkansas softball without thinking about Autumn Storms and Mary Half. Like both those young ladies and just what they did in the circle. They were such a huge piece of really just putting Arkansas back on the map. And
tell you what, though, it all starts with Courtney Deifel.
for sure.
Because there was Arkansas softball before Courtney, and there's Arkansas softball with Courtney.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
two totally different programs.
And she really talks about how much love she has for some of those young ladies that I just named, and Danielle Gibson and Linny Malkin, because those young ladies trusted the process. They trusted Arkansas softball and what the message was from the coaches, and those are the players. And Mary Half, they've put the program on the map as being a competitor day in and day out.
Arnitz gets a strikeout at Kramer. She set down the last 4 in a row. Huskers coming to bat up 1. Well, this is Courtney Deifel's 8th season now as the head coach in Fayetteville. 2018, a national seed. Got their first SEC regular season title a couple of years ago. A 6 overall seed. Just last year got to host a regional and super. Back-to-back SEC champs. Because when Courtney Deifel took the job, she took over a program that wasn't going to win the conference. She inherited a program that won a conference game her first year. They were 1-23 in conference play, and look where they are now.
And you have to strip it. And you got to go back to the basics of what you want this program to be about. And it's not that you never forget the ones that come before you, but that's exactly what Coach Courtney Deifel did. Finally got her recruits in there. And listen, last season was that a team that I believe should have went to Oklahoma City? 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Texas obviously had a good run and beat them in supers to go to Oklahoma. And at that point, Courtney Deifel made the comment and said, we've had 4 bad games all season. 2 of them just happened to come at supers. That's the vision this season. Like, we can't have back-to-back bad games on the biggest stage. Like, we have to learn from that, use that experience, so when we get to those moments where we're going to maybe feel a little bit more heat because it's a regional or a super, we know how to get through it. We don't feel our knees shake at all. We are ready and prepared for what's ahead, because regionals, you're going to get 1 or 2 teams that are going to give you some trouble, but you know a super is an absolute dogfight, and you need to bring your best stuff to try to get to Oklahoma City.
Courtney Wallace sends it foul out of play right side. And a lot of times it's not only what team you play, but when you play them. In Texas, they did get hot at the right time. Haley Dolcini was dealing. They had won the regional in Seattle over Washington the week before. Then they go to Fayetteville, drop the first game, and then come back and won the next 2 to eliminate Arkansas's dream of making it to Oklahoma City for the first time. As Wallace pops that up to the second baseman, Foreman, 2 outs.
And you're so close. You win the first one at home. So it's like, what's the missing link? Like, what happened to make it to where this team wasn't able to execute in the next 2 games? And that's the root of what you want to get to in the fall, in the winter, whether it's a mental shift or just something that Coach Courtney Deifel can get to the bottom of. And whether it's her, whether it's a mental performance coach, somebody has to be able to have those conversations of, what were we feeling in these moments? Were you wanting the ball, craving the ball when the pressure was on? Or were you hoping somebody else was going to get it? And when you get to those big moments of pressure towards the postseason, like, everyone has to want that attention. I want the ball. Give it to me. And you can sometimes sense when teams are a little bit more on their heels than they should be.
Kayla Neal takes the strike on the outside corner.
And also, you don't know what you don't know. I know I said it earlier, but it's the same thing until Arkansas gets there, right? That's going to be the Achilles heel until they get there. Can they push through and get past that supers?
Pop back this way. Is there a play here for Gamble? Just onto the back of the netting. And you're right, getting there the first time can be the hardest.
Yeah.
And I am all for making players their physical as well as mental best. But I also think there are sometimes you just get beat. Sometimes it comes at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But you're right, you have to be mentally ready to make that jump.
But 2 in a row?
Yeah, that's tough.
And that's why the Women's College World Series final is 2 out of 3, because the best teams win 2 out of 3. You can beat anyone on any given day, but beating a team twice, that goes to show that you're the big dog in that moment.
2 outs, base is empty.
I got beat plenty of times one time, Mark.
Nobody got you twice?
No, well, it's happened. It happened, but in certain situations, it's like, all right, the pitcher mentality, they are not going to beat me twice.
Down the left field side, this is going to be into foul territory, but nice running catch by Rio, the shortstop, to end the inning. They go down in order. Razorbacks coming up when we come back to Clearwater. Spencer, but a 448 on base. That'll leave play, 2 balls and a strike.
Pretty 3:33 when she is leading off an inning. Good opportunity here. Hitters count 2-1.
Now in her sophomore year. Last year as a freshman, really got limited due to injury. Starting just 21 games at shortstop. Second strikeout for Sarah Harness.
Now batting, number 26.
Just a cool 68 on the outer half, hitting a good location.
Natalia Rio, the shortstop, true freshman. Was named the SEC Freshman of the Week for Week 1. Hit .636 over the first weekend. As the Razorbacks went 5-0 to start the season. And she gets hit in the back.
Oh, that hurts.
It ends a stretch of 5 in a row that Harness had set down. And gives the Razorbacks a 1-out base runner. And the top of the order up.
Now batting, number 23, Reagan Johnson.
The top of the order as it turns over. Freshman Reagan Johnson. Reagan is grounded out to short. 0 for 1 so far. But is 6 for 16 here in the Clearwater Invitational. And when she gets on base, can make things happen. She's stolen successfully all 3 bags she's attempted this year. And you go back to high school at Karnes City High School in Texas. She stole 109 bases and was never thrown out. Showed that speed running track as well.
Does it say what event she ran?
300-meter hurdles, I know, is one of
Wow.
them. Yeah, she was silver medalist in that. You know, it's one thing you can't teach. I guess you can develop a little more speed, but in many ways, a lot of it is what you're born with. If you're going to have speed.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel like kids have a lot more opportunities now to work with people that can help them.
Yeah.
More so fine-tuning what you have. You're right. Your genetics are genetics. But my daughter's little softball team, they have a conditioning coach that comes in every Wednesday and works form with them and just kind of gives them like little tips to help perfect that, because to me running is one of the first things you want to teach a kid how to do, because you can tell good form. You see an athlete run and you know like that's an athlete, and then at times you see other people run and you're like, yeah, it doesn't look like it should. So right out of the gate, I think it's so important to teach good form with running, especially if you think your kids are going to have an opportunity to do something with sports.
2-2 to Reagan Johnson. Up and in.
But I will say this, since we're still talking about track with Johnson, my dad would make my brother and I run track and field at school, and there is nothing like running a 400 meters. Like, I would get sick before the race because it was so mentally, you can't sprint 400.
Nope.
But you got to run it fast.
Softly bounced to short off the glove of Billy Andrews. And that's got to be a base hitter.
Yeah.
No way she was going to throw out Reagan Johnson, even if she comes up with that. And that is a hit for Reagan, advancing Rijo down to second, 2 on, 1 out for the Razorbacks. Christina Foreman popped out to first in the first inning.
I feel like Christina Foreman is a player you want to see start to heat it up a little bit. So far, only 172 on the season. Big part of Duke's success last season on senior year with Duke, 398, 15 homers, 56 ribbies.
Those 56 RBIs were a school record. When she has put the ball in play, has gotten pretty good results because she does have 3 home runs. Last year, in her final season at Duke in 2022, she had 3 homers in the first 5 games of the season. Gets under it, skied to right center field. Caitlin Neal shading her eyes with the glove. The lead runner, Rio, is going to tag and make it to third without a throw. So it's runners at the corners now with 2 outs.
Now batting, number 20, Rylan Hitchcock.
Well, if you're Nebraska, this is the player that certainly merits a conversation, the way she's been hitting the ball here in Clearwater, and that's Rylan Hedgecock, and it brings Rhonda Ravel out of the dugout to talk to her pitcher and catcher and the rest of the infielders.
Yeah, 8 for 14 so far in this tournament, 3 home runs. Conversation needs to be had by Coach Ravel. Just being smart, that's really what it's about. You miss with something, 3 home runs in this tournament. She's someone right now that can make you pay, and it's all right to give up a solo shot, but a 3-run shot hurts.
And the way Hitchcock is swinging the bat, it may not be the worst thing if you're Nebraska to basically just kind of pitch around her or pitch very carefully.
Yeah. I mean, you're in tough for sure with Hedgecock, because if you do put her on, Hoffman has had a home run in this tournament, and she is your 4 hitter. But it has to go to this feeling in your gut as a pitcher. Like, what do you feel? What's your comfort level right now with attacking probably the hottest hitter on Arkansas's team in this tournament so far with runners on, and you have the lead? Got to listen to your gut.
Let's see how they approach Hedgecock. Pretty good first pitch. Didn't miss by much in. That was pitch number 50 coming up here. Trailing runner Johnson took off with the pitch. Foul ball. He's off a 68-mile-per-hour rise. Hitchcock hitting .533 with runners in scoring position, which is very close to just what her regular season average is, as well as she's been hitting to start the year. Johnson gets a steal, her fourth.
When she picks a perfect pitch to steal on. 53-mile-an-hour changeup with the wheels that she has. She's going to be safe on a change all day. Big opportunity here. 2-2 count, Hedgecock.
Nice snag by Ava Breadwell to keep that from going to the backstop. So full count on Hedgecock. First base open here. First walk given up by Harness, and I think she approached the sequence pretty well here.
I do. Just goes on the inside part of the plate, doesn't get it. It's a good spot on the corner with the curve, goes up in the zone. That's a great hold by Hedgecock. Goes with the change piece. This is a spot on location. And then this is just a miss. She misses big here. And it's almost kind of one of those intentional, unintentional walks where you're like, hey, I'm okay. We have a free bag. It also comes, where do you feel maybe more confident throwing to a lefty or to a righty? You have Hoffman, who is that lefty.
And gets hit by a pitch to force in the tying run. Coach Ravel is saying, did she put that elbow into harm's way purposely? And she talks with Smokey Eds, the plate umpire. Let's see how strong a case she has here.
And she is towing up the line. No way.
Yeah, that's...
If it's anything, it's 2 hit by pitches this inning. So that's 2 free passes that you're giving to a pretty strong offense here. And if you're going to do things like that, stuff is going to happen. And Harness, when we've seen her throw, she's been pretty spot on. She's just missing a little bit too much on the inner half. You got to be able to hit location, especially with runners on base, because if you miss, it's going to score a run.
All one to Hannah Gamble. Coach Ravel will chat with us once we get to the top of the next inning. Ball 2 to Gamble. By the way, Callie Kildow is running at first for Hoffman.
This also goes without saying. We're on day 4 of a pretty grueling schedule here for Nebraska in the best way possible. They are playing very tough competition. So you know on the last day, you're not always feeling your best. And it can be maybe more of a mental shift that you need to take because physically your body's not at 100%. No one in this tournament on day 4, maybe someone that maybe has not gotten the chance to play a lot is feeling good. But if you're that day-to-day starter, you are feeling it. You're putting your spikes on every single day. Your body's aching a little bit.
A bases loaded hit by pitch is followed by a bases loaded walk to give the Razorbacks their first lead.
Now batting, number 12, Kylie Halverson.
They're going to make a pitching change. We're moving on to the 8th batter of the inning. Sarah Harness struggling a little bit.
So Harness will be lifted. And Courtney Wallace, who's been the DH, is going to, DP is going to move into the circle. And with this, we'll take a quick timeout. Senior Courtney Wallace moves into the circle for the Cornhuskers here in the last of the 3rd.
This is an important change here. Courtney Wallace, a lot of innings pitched so far on the season. She's coming into pretty big situation here. She throws upper 60s, can spot that high fastball up in the zone, and at this point have to use the experience that you have. Help get you through some of these pressure-filled moments.
61 pitches from Sarah Harness today. Two hit by pitches, 2 walks in this bottom half of the 3rd. Give it to the Razorbacks, and now 8th batter to come up in the inning. It's Kylie Halverson.
And Smokey Eds is the umpire behind the plate. And he was around when I was still playing. He did our pack games with Washington, and he is always one of those umpires that has a little bit of a smaller zone. And there are some umpires as pitchers that you're going to have behind the plate that it's mental for you, because you know if there's a smaller zone, I have to bring the ball over the plate a little bit more, but they're the boss back there. They're the ones calling the balls and the strikes. And you can tell even on that last pitch, the frustration by Courtney Wallace. She wants it. I'm with you. I want that pitch too. But there are just some umpires, they are set in their ways with their calls of balls and strikes.
Hammered past the 3rd baseman, Gray, into left. Hedgecock in, Kildow comes in. Two-run base hit for Kylie Halverson. It's 4-1.
Yeah, and this is a 3-0 hack. This would have been a walk, but Halverson said, hey, I'm going to take the matter into my own hands. Smashes it through the 5-6 hole. Love to see a green light 3-0.
Runners at first and second with 2 outs. All these runs have come in with 2 away as Reagan Kramer trying to bunt. It has been a 4-run inning so far for the Razorbacks. Arkansas heads home to Fayetteville after leaving Clearwater. They host the Razorback Invitational this week beginning on Thursday. They'll play Arizona twice. Also get Drake 3 times, eventually wind up playing Arizona 3 times.
And there's something about playing at home. And Arkansas hosting the SEC tournament this year. Like, I called a game last season in Arkansas, and there's nothing like it.
Wallace gets a strikeout, but 9 batters come to the plate. They score 4 times on only 2 singles, and now lead 4-1. Welcome back to the TaxAct Clearwater Invitational presented by Evo Shield. Nebraska and Arkansas each playing their final game of this Clearwater Invitational. Let's chat with head coach of the Cornhuskers, Rhonda Revelle. What did you take in after the really impressive win over Texas A&M yesterday?
Well, I thought we just fought, you know, and that's what we're really trying to do here is just come out and fight. And thought we showed a lot of courage and a lot of fight yesterday, and we're going to show some more courage and fight here in this game.
Coach, I just want to ask, like, this is a tough schedule that you guys are playing, and what's the message? You're going on day 4, bodies are hurting a little bit, but coming into today, what'd you say to your team?
Well, you're right, Danielle. We've had 4 teams that are ranked in the top 8, and they're ranked in the top 8 for a reason. But our whole thing is, you know, if you want to be one of the best, you got to play the best, and you got to figure out a way to beat the best. And that's really what we're trying to do here is just to keep getting better every day. And I feel like we've been a better team every day that we've been here.
And you still have a chance to beat a top 5 team right here today. Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Rhonda Revelle, season 31. Not only the winningest coach in Nebraska softball history, but all of Nebraska athletics history. Those 1,066 wins. Coach is third as well, so we've got to give her time to jog over to the coach's box. Appreciate her taking that time all week long for us. Now let's see how the Husker Bats respond to trailing for the first time today. Catcher's up, Ava Breadwell.
And I know I said it earlier, but just even taking a look at Nebraska, having to play Oklahoma State, Louisiana, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Texas A&M. This could be one of the top 3 hardest schedules of this tournament. Just playing Oklahoma State and UCLA back to back. Like, those are the teams that, like Coach Revelle said, you want to make it far. These are the teams that you have to beat to get there. And it's also perspective, Mark. You are not where you need to be right now. Not one team that is fighting to go far in college softball is, but it's about gaining perspective about where you need to go when you're playing these elite teams. What are we learning, and how are we going to be bringing that into practice? What I feel like I'm learning about Nebraska is offensively they can hang.
Yes.
It's going to come down to the pitching for them. And are they going to be able to have a Courtney Wallace and a Harness on point when they need to be?
Aaron gets the strikeout. The 4th of the afternoon, or morning actually, pardon me.
Now batting.
She just climbs the ladder. Pretty pitch.
Maya Felder fouls the first pitch off. Lauren Kamenzen, by the way, has come in to catch now for the Razorbacks. One of the Kamenzen twins, 2 freshmen on Courtney Deifel's team.
In Nebraska right now, offensively, they have to see it down. It's a big strikeout by Breadwell, swinging at a pitch that's way above her head. Dirty. And when you swing at pitches up out of the zone like this, Mark, you're susceptible next pitch to swinging at a pitch like this. This is a really good setup by Herron, going up with the hard and then down and in with the soft. Her 5th strikeout on the day, but it comes down to pitch selection and being able to recognize that pitch up in the zone, not swinging at it, and making her bring something in your wheelhouse. Another thing that I'm digging right now about Herron is just the response when your team puts a 4 spot up in the bottom, right? Last inning, bottom 3, her team scores her 4 runs. She goes out, back-to-back Ks. Not only does that give them a chance to continue to keep having some momentum in offensively, but it gets them back in the dugout, getting a go hit again.
Grazed her. So Brooke Andrews, who homered in her first at bat to give Nebraska a 1-0 lead, reaches base for a second time, this time a hit by pitch.
Now batting, number 8, Abby Squire.
Courtney Deifel will join us when we get to the top of the next inning. Jumping on the first pitch. Squire out to shortstop. It comes down in the glove. Spencer Prigge. The runner left on. That's 3 stranded so far today by the Huskers. 8-9-1 ahead for Arkansas. '23 TaxAct Clearwater Invitational presented by Evo Shield here on SEC Network. This morning, Arkansas has a 4-1 lead. Let's visit with head coach Courtney Deifel. First time for this program to come to the Clearwater Invitational, Coach. And I know you got some games still to play here, but what's been your assessment of the caliber of the competition and your team?
Well, we've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a really good early season matchup. It's a really good challenge, and that's why we chose to come here. Obviously, the exposure is huge. What ESPN does for our sport is huge. But the matchups and kind of seeing where we stack up is why we chose to come here, and it's done that for us.
Coach, it's been really cool to see Robin Herron throw. Freshman lefty, she looks really good. Tell me a little bit about her.
Well, I think she just keeps getting more comfortable every time she's out there, and she's just doing a really good job of trusting her spin, mixing her speeds, and learning. I think that's the big thing is when she makes a mistake, she's not carrying it on, she's making it better. And so she put one in there a little bit on Andrews, and she's been a lot sharper since. But I'm just really proud of her and how she continues to just get better every time she goes out.
Appreciate the time, and we look forward to you guys getting to play at home for the first time later this week.
Me too. Thanks. Woo pick.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Courtney Deifel, whose team lost 2 games on Friday, both to ranked opponents. Lost to 7th-ranked Florida State 9-6. Number 19 Duke 7-4. Shut out Indiana yesterday and beat ranked Louisiana 7-6. And now finishing up with Nebraska. Huskers finishing up their allotment of games here as well.
Now batting, number 15, Spencer Prigge.
Prigge, who led off the last inning, leads off this inning. As Razorbacks sent 9 batters to the plate, scored 4 times in the third, and Prigge leading off the 4th. Outside of first, foul. By the way, Arkansas was picked 3rd in the preseason SEC poll.
Ooh.
Florida was picked 1st, Tennessee 2nd. Arkansas 3, Bama 4, LSU 5. I mean, it's always a gauntlet in the SEC. But the team that's, won or outright or gotten a share of the regular season the last couple of years, not the preseason pick, which, I don't know, if you're a Hog fan, maybe that gets under your skin a little bit.
Gets me going a little bit.
Yeah.
Not me personally, but I'm saying, that would, the preseason stuff
doesn't really mean anything much anyway. But
one thing I'll
still
say about Courtney Deifel is she's very big on player of the year, and all of those types of things don't score your runs. So the recognition is awesome, and those are really cool, winning player of the week, but all those little things don't step in the batter's box for you or get in the circle and win games for you. So as nice as it is to have those little honors, it's more important as a team to do what you need to do. And when someone says, hey, we don't think you're going to win, it's go show them what's up.
Out to right, Caitlin Neal in to make the catch for the first out. So those accolades are more kind of ingredients in the mixture and not your finished product, obviously.
Now batting, number 26, Italia.
Can't argue with what she's done in Fayetteville. I mean, the only positive thing probably for Coach Deifel to take the job when she did is, hey, this is an SEC team. Because that's cool. That's a big deal. That's the conference you want to be in. But it's a team that had been at the basement of the conference for a really long time. But I think she saw it for what it was and could be, and has turned it into one of the marquee programs in the nation. No balls, 2 strikes. And Courtney Wallace did give up the 2-run single to Halverson, the first batter she faced when she inherited runners on last inning. But now with this ground ball to third, and Sydney Gray, she has set down 3 in a row and gotten the first 2 here in the Razorback fourth.
And Courtney Wallace, I love it. You're getting quick outs, and that's what it's about. This game is not over. It's 4-1. Your team still has a lot of outs left to get back into this ball game, but it's being able to have those tight 1, 2, 3 innings that you can start to kind of stir the pot and get some momentum going for your team.
Reagan Johnson, base hit, stolen base, a run scored. An inning ago, 1 for 2 today. And slaps that foul left side. It's going to drop just out of reaches. Pursuing Sydney Gray and Billy Andrews.
Let's talk about Gray and Andrews on the left side of the infield. These two are rock stars. They're ball hogs, Coach Rhonda Ravel says, in the best way, and just their communication and dynamic that they have on the left side is a special bond. And as a pitcher, when you can look back and know that your infield is in sync, it's a pretty rad feeling to have. It just allows for you to feel more confident when you're pitching. Everything is just air sealed behind you. Everyone is that one pitch at a time mentality.
Pulled foul. You just used the term rad, which immediately took me back to a much earlier and simpler time in my life. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Trying to keep it light up here for you.
Rad, yeah. 1-2 pitch coming.
Pretty. Good spot by Courtney Wallace.
Let's see where she wants to go with a 2-2 pitch. Foul ball. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming.
She's getting pinched out there. That's back to back.
Ball's off the plate. And she did go. That is strike 3, says Smokey Eds. They go down in order in the Razorback 4th. We played 4-1 Hawks. It's the 4th and final day, the 2023 TaxAct Clearwater Invitational, presented by Evo Shield. Both Nebraska and Arkansas playing their final game on this Sunday. After a Nebraska early lead, the Razorbacks have come back, taking a 4-1 lead as this game heads to the top of the 5th. I love that instrumental music, by the way. Gets me fired up.
Does it?
Yeah.
You're an old soul, I know it.
Yeah.
It makes you think of your drum set back at home, doesn't it?
Can. It's got a good beat. I don't know if that instrumental has a name, but maybe it should be called Fire Me Up, because that's one of your terms.
Yeah.
The ball's blasted deep, but fouled down the left field line. Sydney Gray leading off. Huskers have the 8, 9, and 1 part of the order up. New freshman Robin Herron, who's from nearby Tampa. He's pitched well, but Shanice Dels may need to get a little work in herself. We'll find out as this game progresses. 65th pitch of the day from Herron is up high.
I'd rather have the ace of the staff warm and ready than not having her ready at all. And by the way, Robin Herron is throwing right now. Not seeing that she'll have to get pulled, but if anything were to happen, you want to have someone ready.
Grazed the arm of Gray. He's going to put the leadoff batter on base. Second batter hit today by Herron.
Now batting, number 66.
Just kind of gets that back elbow. Coach Deifel coming out right away, and it might be a short leash to the point where it's like if a runner gets on, we're making that change, and that's what they're going to be doing.
Well, they got nice work today out of Robin Herron, true freshman. Yeah, that's worth smiling about. I'm sure she's got a bunch of friends and family here today since she's playing basically in her hometown.
Great performance tonight by Robin Herron. Spun it really well. We saw her change speeds. Have to be happy with yourself.
The ace of the staff, Shanice Dels, is going to take over in the circle.
When you're passing the ball to the senior, this an opportunity here. She has 9 outs left. We have a 3-run lead.
And the Razorbacks will next play on Thursday. Play Arizona twice. Denise Dels wanted to make sure that Lauren Kammen's in, the catcher. Ooh. We had our first really close call foul ball wise. The crowd down below. The adjacent field 8. I was going to say, Dels wanted to make sure she and her catcher on the same page with the right card. The always businesslike Shanice Dels gets loose.
And this year is a good opportunity for Shanice Dels. She is the ace. Last year she had Mary Half. She can throw upper 60s. She goes up, down, has that great drop ball, can mix speeds well. But I will say this, Mark, there is a different feeling knowing that you're the sole ace. Last year when Mary Half was there, it's kind of that tag team mentality where you're not feeling all that pressure of like it's all just me. I have that vet in the circle as well with me and Mary Half, and a little bit different this year because Shanice Dels has help, no doubt, but the pressure games will maybe fall a little bit more on her.
Try box there. The other games going on. Duke, Michigan right now, bottom right. There's a couple of ranked teams, UCLA and Louisiana. And here, number 4, Arkansas and Nebraska, 4-1 Razorbacks on this 4th and final day of the TaxAct Clearwater Invitational. We finish it up. A couple of great games later tonight. Florida State, Alabama on ESPN. 5 Eastern, Mississippi State, UCF on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. Got Gray at first, nobody out, in the Huskers' 5th inning. Kaneda lifts one to center field. Reagan Johnson right onto the front of the track. That ball hit well to dead center by the freshman Kaneda. Flies to deep center for the first out.
Now batting, number 6, Billy Andrews.
Lineup turns over for a 3rd time for Nebraska. And that means Billy Andrews, who has fly to right twice. Nice block there by Lauren Kamensend, and Gray gave it a hard look, but elected to stay put at first. Speaking of the Kamensend, of course, Lauren and her twin sister Hannah are on the Arkansas team this year. I have yet to see them side by side to kind of see if you can tell them apart.
Yeah.
I need to do that before I leave town.
Yep.
It's just one of those things.
Gonna hold you to it.
Hit sharply up the middle. Andrews with a base hit. And that's going to get the tying run to the plate for Nebraska here in the 5th.
Well, for Shanice Dels right
Now
now,
batting, number 23,
it's about
Courtney
kind of finding that
Wallace.
strike zone. Quickly falls behind to Andrews in the leadoff spot. A quick 2-0 puts her at a hitter's count.
Courtney Wallace started as the DP. She's in the circle now for the Huskers, 0 for 2, and fouls that at home plate. Huskers trying to come back and make it back-to-back wins to end this Clearwater Invitational after beating Texas A&M yesterday. Took the early lead today, 1-0 on a home run by Brooke Andrews. Razorbacks still got 4 in the 3rd to take the lead. That's where we are right now in the top of the 5th. First K for Dels. Facing the 3rd batter she's taken on today.
And when you're not used to seeing this
Now
pitch,
batting, number 19,
it's a tough one. That's 68 with great movement on the lower half. That is a very hard pitch. It's a pitch you cannot do a lot with as a hitter. You have to be able to make Shanice Dels bring it up.
Two on, 2 outs for the Huskers in the 5th. That dips low. Lead runner Sydney Gray's getting a big secondary lead from her base at second. As each of the middle infielders kind of cheating towards the hole on each side and not up the middle. Look at the defensive allotment, and that runner at second grade. Again, as soon as the ball leaves the hand of Dell, she's getting a big secondary lead, and appropriately so. Three balls and a strike.
Callie Turner is getting warm out there in the bullpen as well.
That's a strike, but it goes off the glove of Kamenzen and allows the runners to advance 60 feet. Gray over to third. Andrews down to second.
That's a big pass ball there.
Neal tops it foul. Caitlin singled in her first at bat, popped out to short last time up in the third. Full count on the Huskers right fielder, junior Caitlin Neal.
See if she snaps that drop ball off.
Ball's hit towards right field, but with the sunglasses on, Casey Hoffman makes the catch to end the threat. So the Huskers strand a pair. They've left 5 on base today. But of course, the 2-run single by Halverson, the big hit in this game. Part of the order up for the Razorbacks, 2, 3, and 4, with Christina Foreman leading off. Pop out to first and a fly ball to right so far today for Foreman. Duke transfer. Grad transfer, got her degree in biology and anthropology from Duke, double major.
Nice pitch by Courtney Wallace. Jumps to a quick 1-2.
Huskers powwow here. We've talked about how these teams, in many ways, are starting to just kind of find out their identity, fill some roles. See Coach Ravel coming out. To me, Christina Foreman is one. Yeah, she's not off to the greatest start offensively for Arkansas, but I'd put my money on the fact that when it counts and the season really gets going, she's going to be a big contributor for them.
All day. Just the experience that that young lady is able to bring. The numbers are going to show up because they have every single year for Christina Foreman. But it's just about being balanced, balancing the mindset, not putting too much pressure on yourself to try to do too much. She's a part of a team yet again, which she was with Duke, where she had help offensively. The same thing goes with Arkansas. She has other women that can step up and have her back if she's not performing.
And there she is with a base hit to right. So that's her second hit of this TaxAct Clearwater Invitational. And she's on to begin the bottom of the 5th.
And sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a 2-hit day.
Now batting number 28, Ryland Hitchcock.
Love seeing that big smile on her face.
First time today that Razorbacks have put the leadoff batter on base. Ryland Hedgecock, who has been on fire here in Florida. A single, a walk, a run scored today. She is 8 for 14 here in this Clearwater Invitational with 3 home runs.
And this is the team that Coach Courtney Deifel mentioned in our coach's call that she wants aggressive hitting early in counts. Easier said than done. But when you look at percentage-wise of pitchers that are going to throw you strikes, it's going to happen more times than not early. That is a good pitch sequence by Courtney Wallace to jump ahead with back-to-back strikes and then flip that little changeup on the outer half. It's a thing of beauty. Love the way her body just continues to keep going forward through the pitch. And you know if you're getting a Hedgecock big swing and miss, it's working because she's swinging a good bat right now.
She's as hot as anybody here in this
Now
invitational.
batting, number 14, Casey Hoffman.
1-on-1 out. Here's the right fielder, Casey Hoffman, who picked up an RBI being hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, and she finds a hole between third and short. And there's Foreman showing off her speed. Throw goes to third, and that allows Hoffman to advance to second.
And this just gets enough velocity by using that first bounce to skip right by, gets by Gray at third, right through the 5-6 hole. And the speed of Foreman, I mean, you said it, her being able to get to third to make that throw happen from the outfield allowed for Hoffman to now get in scoring position as well. With 2 more big insurance runs on second and third. And Hannah Gamble up.
Gamble earned an RBI on a bases loaded walk in that 4-run third for Arkansas. There's also fly to deep left.
Hannah Gamble last season, first team All-American. Had a terrific year. 18 home runs, 51 RBIs.
Yeah, what a season, what a player. You may or may not know, though, that she has heterochromia. Heterochromia means that she has 2 different colored eyes.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I've had that one in the holster for 4 days.
Now's the time.
Had to pull it out. It's getting late. I think Max Scherzer is probably the most prominent person like
Yes.
that in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Kylie Halverson.
Usually if you say a term like heterochromia, you know, they're calling HR at that point and saying,
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything when you said that. I didn't know what that meant.
yeah, every once in a while, throw in a scientific term. Well, bases are loaded now. Kylie Halverson had a 2-run single to left. It's really been the hit of this game, her last time up.
I like those spots by Courtney Wallace, but those are pitches that Smokey Eds behind the plate has not called all day. So it's recognizing that and being able to find pitches that you know you can locate. When she throws that changeup, she tends to be able to get that pitch called for a strike.
Arkansas leading by 3, trying to expand the lead in the bottom of the 5th. Off the end of the bat to the alley in left center field, and that's going to score at least 2. Foreman in. Hoffman races for the plate. Gamble will be stopped at third. What a day for Kylie Halverson. She follows up a 2-run single, her last at bat, with a 2-run double this time, and it's 6-1.
And you're right, just off the bat, but it also goes to show how strong she really is. She still gets this all the way to the wall.
Now batting, number 1, Reagan
Last at bat,
Taylor.
swung at a 3-0 count. Got the single, the 2 ribbies. Next AB, big double. Couple more on the board.
Here's Reagan Kramer up. So the lead has expanded to 5, and we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. So if Kramer were to hit one out, that would end the game with the run rule.
This is a good test, Mark. When pitchers have to sometimes deal with being squeezed, you start to learn real quick where your mind's at, because you can get frustrated, you can overthrow, and then your frustrations can make you pitch different. It's pretty black or white. You're going to get the pitch or you're not, and the mentality of next pitch, move on. And it's funny sitting up here because people will say, well, Danielle, you were probably one of the most animated pitchers there was, and that was something that I wish that I would have been better at. So when I say it, it's because I dealt with it, and at times I was not what I wish that I could have been for my teammates when I was struggling with not getting calls. Good pitch.
Kramer 0 for 2 today. A couple of strikeouts. One against Sarah Harness, the other against this pitcher, Courtney Wallace. Pops it in the air, out to left center field. And it stayed up long enough for Abby Squire to come in from left to make the catch. For a moment, looked like that ball might find some ground, but Squire able to make the play for the Huskers, 2 outs. With Prigge due up, Courtney Deifel is going to go to the bench. Get Kiki Estrada.
Now batting for Arkansas, number 89, Kiki Estrada.
So Estrada comes on to bat for Prigge. Kiki, one of the true freshmen in this year's class at an Orange Lutheran High School in Chino Hills. Second team high school All-American at that high school. And has some pop, and I think that's a chance for Courtney Deifel to get a freshman in a spot to maybe end a game. 2-1. Up to 50 pitches now in this relief appearance for Courtney Wallace.
Good spot.
Ball on the inside corner, 3-2. Strike 3 on the check swing, hits the inside corner. And Wallace gets the K, but Razorbacks had 2 more on Halverson's second 2-run hit of the game.
Tax Act Clearwater Invitational, presented by EvoShield, is brought to you by Tax Act. File for less and get more. St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida. Let's shine. Plan your escape at visitstpeteclearwater.com. And Evo Shield, the source for custom fitting protective gear.
You know, aren't dolphins or porpoises, whatever you want to call them, some of the coolest animals on the planet?
Yeah. I don't think you know this, but in Hawaii, I swam with over 150 of them out in the wild.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You may not know this.
Ooh.
There was a television show that was originally, I think, from the 60s or 70s, but it was syndicated into the 80s. It was a show called Flipper.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you remember Flipper? Where
Yeah, I
based,
remember.
in theory, the lead character in the show was a dolphin.
Yes. A lot
Flipper.
of people listening probably know Flipper.
I'm sure they do.
I think it's still on Netflix.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Well, 5-run lead for the Razorbacks. Nebraska bats top of the 6th. Pretty cool swimming with the Dolphins, though.
It's a little scary. Because if one goes rogue, you have no help out there. But it was one of the coolest things that I ever got to do.
Swing and a miss, and Ava Breadwell, the freshman out of Mill Valley High School in Shawnee, Kansas, strikeout victim.
Spot the location here. This is an 0-2 pitch, down and away, low in the zone. Really tough pitch.
Is going rogue a problem with pods of Dolphins?
It was my husband's idea, and as we're going out there, I'm the one that's way in the front. I'm like, this is your idea to see the Dolphins. You should be kicking us off. You wanted to test the waters. I'm the one going out there.
Felder chopped to third. Prigge high throw, but Halverson able to adjust and hold the bag. 2 outs.
Now batting, number 27, Brooke Andrews.
Bases are empty for center fielder Brooke Andrews. Andrews homered in the 2nd. That was a solo shot, her first of the year, and it gave the Huskers a early 1-0 lead.
And that's the pitch right there, Mark, that separates Shanice Dels from a lot of others. It's just so hard to hit that pitch. As a hitter, you can't. So you have to try to get her to elevate it up in the zone. Make an adjustment in the box. This is a pitch that this young lady learned in 9 pitches last season with Coach Courtney Deifel. Deifel says Dels's ability to make adjustments with her body is like nothing she's ever seen before, and it's a quick 1, 2, 3.
That was in the blink of an eye.
I'm almost jealous. It took me 4 years to learn a drop ball. Shanice Dels, 9 pitches. Showing it off here. Love to see it.
What a marquee matchup it is going to be. 5 o'clock Eastern time tonight on ESPN. Florida State and Alabama. That last year in March, Florida State, though, has won 7 of the last 10 and 6 in a row against them.
A couple of our favorites on the call for that. Beth Mowens, Shell Smith, my girl Amanda Scarborough.
Now batting, number 26, Italia Rio.
Here's Kaylin Kinney, junior out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The 3rd different pitcher of the game for the Huskers. He follows the starters Sarah Harness and Courtney Wallace into the circle today for Nebraska.
When you're seeing a dose of all the Nebraska pitchers today, Kaylin McKinney, lower 60s, has the most movement on staff. Coach Rhonda Ravel says can keep it down in the zone.
Ground ball to first. Maya Felder.
Now batting,
There's sophomore
number
McKinley
23,
Malika, who's now doing the
Whitney
catching
Johnson.
for Nebraska. Top of the order, and Reagan Johnson. USF and Virginia Tech next. Danielle and I will have the call on that on ESPN Plus. We're intended at start time noon local, but we're going to have to push that back a little bit.
And I know people are going to want to hear more about Flipper, so they're going to be tuning in.
They do
to
or do
hear
not
more
want to
of
hear more
us.
about Flipper.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
our
you
last game of the tournament
Yeah.
together, too, so saving the best for last, you and me.
You don't get that kind of content everywhere.
That's what it's
Yeah.
exclusive.
It is. Reagan has singled and stolen a base in the third. Also scored in that inning.
Good
Reagan
pitch.
takes a strike.
And Arkansas has had a tough road here as well. They played Florida State right out of the gate and lost 9-6. We had that Duke game Friday night, 45-minute rain delay. They lost that 7-4. Then they beat Indiana.
Ooh, hot shot. Maya Felder showing off the glove work again.
This is back-to-back 3 U's. Look at what I have, says Maya Felder.
Number 2, Christina
Love that scoop.
Foreman.
2 quick outs here for Nebraska. Use it.
Foreman jumps on the first pitch and whistles that foul down the third base side. Look out down there. Foreman led off the fifth with a base hit and would eventually score on Kylie Halverson's 2-run double. Looking ahead to the Nebraska 7th. They'll have the bottom 3 due up. Trailing by at least 5. Got the UCLA Louisiana game going on next door. Hit down the left field side, fading, but it's going to stay in play and in fair territory for Abby Squire. Down in order go the Razorbacks. Last chance for the Huskers. We'll go to the 7th, 6-1, Arkansas.
Look at our Tax Act performance update. Kylie Halverson, the 3-0 swing for the couple ribbies, and then the double to the wall. Putting on a little offensive slugfest for number 12. What a good pickup that is.
And a big day for her with the 4 RBIs, knocking in 4 of Razorback 6 runs.
Now
Last
batting
chance here for
number
Nebraska.
20,
Bottom
Abby
3 up here in the
Newland.
top of the 7th. Abby Squire due up, but Newland is going to bat here and pinch hit. First pitch strike. Abby Newland, junior from the Houston area, the Woodlands, Texas. Both these teams playing their final game of the TaxAct Clearwater Invitational. If Nebraska is unable to come back here, they will have gone 1-4 in their 5 games. A win, though, over Texas A&M yesterday, 4-3. But the losses would all be to ranked teams. Number 5, Oklahoma State. Number 2, UCLA. Number 8, Virginia Tech, and this team, number 4, Arkansas. Nebraska will go to Las Cruces, New Mexico next and play in the Tony Cox Classic. That begins on Friday. They'll see Oklahoma State again there, as well as New Mexico State as retired Newland. First out of the 7th. Another chance for Coach Revelle to get some bats off the bench. And Ashley Smetter, true freshman from Lincoln at Southwest High School, hitting here for Gray. I like what Coach Revelle's doing. I'm going to include everybody. There's a ground ball to third. Prigge gets out, number 2. And one more time for the bench.
Now batting, number 11.
Talia Tokheim. He's a freshman from Sequoia High School in San Carlos, California. Coach Revelle making sure everybody got a chance to participate at some level.
Yeah.
Get on the field. A win for the Razorbacks. They will have gone 3-2 in their 5 games. There's a ground ball to third. Prigge throws her out. And that's the ball game. And Arkansas wins it over Nebraska 6-1. Let's take a look at our TaxAct performance updates. Here's how the Razorbacks played out with a couple of losses on Friday to number 7 Florida State, number 19 Duke. They come back with 3 straight wins.
They do, and that's really what counts. We called that Duke game Friday night. That could have went any way. But it's really all on how you finish, and back-to-back-to-back wins has to be good moving into their home tournament next weekend.
Arkansas improves to 8-2 on the season, and again they will finally play at home for the first time, and that will be the Razorback Invitational beginning on Thursday. They'll play Arizona twice. That's going to take care of things for now here on SEC Network. For Danielle Laurie, a great crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Number 4 Arkansas wins it over Nebraska 6-1, and we say so long from the Sunshine State.
So you guys see we have some